Hello and welcome back to the series where I rank Ash's Pokemon teams, and today we are focusing on his Sinnoh team. This one's pretty straightforward. Every member that was travelling with him on his Sinnoh journey, he did rotate some of his older Pokemon in the league, but they won't be included as they were just one-off battles. So with that being said, let's get into the video and make sure to hit that like button if you want to see Ash's Unova team ranked as well. Coming in 8th place is Gible. So these bottom two picks were really hard and I decided to go for Gible in this spot. Gible was the last addition to Ash's Sinnoh team, caught in episode 157, so it didn't have much time to make a mark on this team. However, saying that, it performed really well in the battle with Conway. Conway was a tough opponent for Ash, using some really tricky tactics, and Gible managed to overcome that with its insane battle styles, including biting a Shadow Punch. So despite it really coming through for Ash in this battle, it just wasn't enough to go any higher on the list. I feel like every other Pokemon ahead of it contributed a lot more. Number 7 is Apom. This is where the difficult decision came into play, Gible or Apom. I ended up going with Apom as it just did a little bit more for Ash than Gible did. Apom was obviously caught late into Ash's Frontier journey, but it decided to follow Ash to Sinnoh, which was so cool, and despite it getting traded to Dawn only 55 episodes later, it still put in some work for Ash, competing in his first two gym battles with Rourke and Gardenia, and playing a pretty crucial role in both of them, taking down both Geodude and Roserade. The Gardenia battle was the most impressive. It made me wonder how far Apom could have gone under Ash, but then it got traded to Dawn, something that made complete sense. But as I said before, I feel like the two gym battles is more of an accomplishment than the one Conway battle. Although the Conway battle was huge, Apom still did more on this team. Number 6 is Gliscor. These next 6 slots were really tough to pick. Ash's Sinnoh team was really well balanced and each Pokemon had a lot to offer in this team. I decided to go for Gliscor as it had some staggered development. It was caught 64 episodes into Diamond and Pearl. It took a while to come to terms with flying and become a proper battler for Ash. But it had a great evolution episode which featured the return of Gary, and then it did some nice work in a couple gym battles for Ash after evolving. It was also crucial in the final league battle with Paul, taking down Paul's Drapion, but it was also left to train with the Air Battle Master, which I always found a bit weird. It was a great episode, but I felt it could have stuck around with Ash for a bit longer and got in some more battles. Coming in 5th place is Torterra. This was another tough one because as a Turtwig, this Pokemon was really crucial to this team, getting some massive wins like against Gardenia's Turtwig. But in the latter parts of Sinnoh, it really took a backseat to other Pokemon, despite it evolving into Growl. It had a major problem changing its battle style from a speedy Turtwig to a less mobile battler. It even had help from Paul's Torterra, who tried to teach it how to control its body now it's evolved. And this was a really interesting storyline, but they never really seemed to go anywhere with it. After this, it didn't really do anything of note before evolving fully into Torterra, and things didn't get much better after it evolved. It deserved a lot better treatment, being Ash's first Sinnoh starter, but unfortunately it got overshadowed by Infernape. But despite all this, it was still an important member to Ash's team in and out of battle. Number 4 is Pikachu. Once again, Pikachu was such an important member of this team, but this is the lowest place it's received so far. It's not that Pikachu wasn't any good in Sinnoh, it's more the fact that it kind of stepped back a little bit to let his other Pokemon shine. It performed really well early on, of course, being one of Ash's few Pokemon. It also set up a really good rivalry with Paul's Electivire, but my problem with that was that Pikachu never got the better of it. Infernape took over that rivalry for himself. It had a great episode where it battled against Sho and his Raichu, where it once again decided it didn't want to evolve to become stronger. In terms of gym battles, this was probably Pikachu's weakest run yet. It did well against Crasher, having the type advantage and managing not to lose in that battle. It got easily defeated against Fantina, and then competed in the last battle with Volkner's Electivire and beat it. So it was up and down for Pikachu in terms of gym battles, but ultimately it was still a really reliable Pokemon as usual, and of course it got the double knockout with Latios at the end, which was a huge accomplishment. Coming in 3rd place is Staraptor. Caught early on as a Starly, this Pokemon was really important to Ash's whole journey. It picked up many big battles and wins, and was just super reliable for Ash. It evolved into Staraptor in the Pokeringer contest, just like Swellow did in Hoenn, which I thought was really cool. Overall, Staraptor is often seen as Ash's best regional bird. Although I disagree, it's still one of the strongest he's got. I feel like it lacks some crucial wins for Ash. It doesn't really have that one standout moment. For example, it could have done a lot better in the battles against Paul, especially in the Sinnoh League battle. but even with that being said, it's third for a reason, and that's because it's strong and dependable with such an awesome moveset. It has unique moves like Close Combat and Brave Bird, which Ash used in such a tactical way to get out of sticky situations. I also loved how Paul's brother Reggie helped develop Ash's Brave Bird. It was just an awesome addition to Ash's Sinnoh team and one of the best. Second place is Weasel. I was shocked to see how high Weasel places on this list, but it definitely deserves it. Weasel was traded for Ash's Apom with Dawn, and it was something we'd never really seen before. It was really cool to see Ash using a Pokemon that Dawn caught. It was clear from the start Weasel was too much for Dawn to handle, and Ash was perfect to take it onto his team. Weasel had such a great personality. It was aggressive and stubborn sometimes, but it would use that to its advantage. It would always want to be the best, always want to be number one, no matter who it is coming up against. I just loved how determined it was. It took part in some crucial battle wins for Ash, including against Crasher Wake and also against Maylene, taking down her powerful Lucario in a double knockout, which became one of my favourite battles in the entire anime, with Weasel using its Swift Swim ability in the rain for the first time. Overall, Weasel just had so many unique qualities. It had the counter shield that it could use, it also had the Ice Aqua Jet that it mastered, and these special traits combined with its pure strength in battle is what made it so important for this Sinnoh team. But coming in first place is of course Infernape, the one and only option to make the number one spot on the list. What can be said about Infernape that hasn't been said already? It's one of the best Pokemon in the anime, not just because of its power, but also because of its backstory. Starting as a shy little Chimchar with Paul, getting treated poorly just to activate its Blaze ability, it really went through a lot. And then Ash took it onto his team, it struggled to adjust to its new training method, it was still scared, but it quickly realised that Ash isn't Paul. Ash cares and Ash will treat you a lot better. It became Ash's most important member. It had many important battles, both battles with Paul including the lake battle where it evolved, gym battles against Candice and Volkner, but we all know how good it was in battle. The main reason it's number one is just the importance that it had when it came to the whole story. Diamond and Pearl's main focus was Ash versus Paul. The whole rivalry was set up. Infernape was a giant part of who the better trainer is. Paul couldn't activate his Blaze ability whereas Ash could. Ash proved himself to Paul and that his training methods weren't useless. And at the centre of everything was Infernape, who also wanted to prove to Paul that it could overcome him one day. And it eventually did in the Sinnoh League top 8. Infernape will always be one of Ash's best Pokemon and one with the best story, and that's why it's number one on this list. So that's it for this list. Please let me know your favourites. Who is Ash's best Sinnoh Pokemon? Please like the video if you want to see his Unova team ranked, and I'll see you next time.